we invited you to the committee to discuss exactly that. You've seen, obviously, the 3 motions that this committee has passed with varying degrees of simplicity in terms of just looking for the variables, the assumptions, and the data included to specific language regarding EC Pro. If you were a member of this committee, not the minister sitting there, would you feel confident and comfortable with the responses your department has given this committee in terms of the production records that we are asking for? Because when I see a document that is a website link, when I see a document that is written by 4 people that don't even work for ECCC and it says draft on it and it says this is not representative of ECCC or the government of Canada, and then thirdly a 3-pager with an attachment of a so-called independent think tank which turns out is funded by ECCC, do you think that is sufficient? Honestly, do you think that's sufficient in terms of what we are looking for? Because I think all of these questions could be answered if you would just hand over the modeling as requested by this committee so that we could better understand how you are coming to these conclusions. Is that not a reasonable request, Minister?
I'm quite clearly not a climate modeler, although I have in my life worked on a number of occasions with climate modelers. It's a very complex exercise. It's not magic. It's mathematics, and we use modeling in all sectors of our society. We use it in economy, we use it in health, we use it in employment sectors, and we use it in the climate change sector as well. We have provided information, and you have our chief, I don't know if it's your title, Derek, but let's call him for the sake of argument, our chief modeler with you here today so he can answer your question. This is I'll be the first one to recognize that it is complex. And you want simple answers. I'm sorry, there's no simple answer when it comes to climate change or modeling.
I appreciate that, Minister. And listen, I'm not a climate modeler either. I'm not saying that I'm going to be the one that is going to understand as I believe it was 280,000 formulas and data points that would be included in the model. My point is that people in this country can outside of ECCC. So my 2-part question, I guess. Why are you so hesitant to just hand over that data? If you won't hand it over to us, who else has seen or used EC Pro? I noticed in the 3rd response it said Navius Consulting used CGE models, but I'm curious, has the data inputs that your modeling is using in CG Pro or GC Pro, has it been peer reviewed by anybody else? You've talked about 300 economists talking about how great the carbon tax is. Have they looked at this analysis? Who has seen this outside of ECCC? And why are you so unwilling to give it over to this committee and let Canadians have a look at the data that you're using to make the assumptions that that the carbon tax is actually working?
So the way the modeling community tends to work is that obviously there are different models out there. Let's talk specifically about climate change. There are different models out there. And what the modeling community is trying to do is to work together to ensure that despite the fact that we are using different models, there's not 15 of them out there, but there's some of them that we understand what are the underlying elements of each of those models, so that when different people use different models, we at least can agree in what goes into the models. Which
why can't it be open though? Why wouldn't you want everybody to see it?
We're out of time, unfortunately.
Shouldn't it be fair for everybody that can understand this stuff to be able to see it?
We're out of time, and